name's Machi, and welcome to the Love Freely Tribe. Got this sage, really putting in work today with this sage. First random thing, I have a new table. Well, it's the same table, but I painted it, and it's just gave it such a new energy, such new life, and I just feel even more at home right here in my little space. So if that sounds like something that you may want to do or could be helpful to you, I totally recommend it. Any kind of like little home reno projects to bring new life, bring new energy, bring new inspiration into your space is really amazing. So, first thing I wanted to say was, I will put my sage down just so you know, I'm sticking it over here. I'm making this video because, first of all, I want to say I'll make a better new intro with my new table. I'm using my iPad to record this right now, and I turned my iPhone 10 is what I normally like record things with, and it has really nice flash on it. Obviously my iPad doesn't have a flash, and I like that look of the smoke in the flash kind of thing, like my intro that I already have. Anyway, I'm just rambling. I felt called, I received a message last night from my guides to turn my MFing phone off for a little while, so that's what I'm doing. I'm going to try to go all day without turning that phone on, unless of course when I post this, because I do have some other things on my to-do list that might call for me to reach out to people, but anyway, we'll see. Sorry, I just feel like winded, out of breath, and of course there's like a lot of smoke going around me right now. But basically I'm making this video because as a check-in, an energy check-in to all of you, since the new moon reading that I did, for me personally, a lot of different energies have come into play that I wasn't expecting, and I'm basically just checking in on you guys because I had to really go through it with myself last night and really be there with myself, and I'm kind of checking in on myself today, and not letting, because shadow work, aka what I've always referred to it as since a child, like just really bad nights, which I don't want to use that terminology anymore because it's not bad to feel in that more shadowy space. It's not necessarily bad to feel that way. I wonder if it's going to sound different since I don't have my microphone in. I just thought of that. But anyway, it's not bad. More times than not, it's necessary. But yeah, it's shadow work, and so that's kind of what I fell into last night. I feel like to be honest with you all, I still feel like I'm in that space where there's still a lot of shadow that I'm working out within myself. Our shadow self, I'm not afraid of my shadow self. If anything, there's been times where I'm more, more familiar with my shadow self than my lighter self. But it can be hard nonetheless, no matter how familiar that you get with your shadow self. It can be scary, and it can be just hard to handle, especially if there's messages that, are needing to be heard, and gone through and gone over and released and all that, like ASAP, which is what I feel like I'm going through. I feel like it's not a brand new feeling, it's just like this party of old feelings in my shadow self, old fears, old habits, old doubts and stuff, just like really coming up to the surface, like all at once. And I love that. And I love it because I know that it's necessary, and I know that I'm going to grow from this, and I'm going to be stronger after this. But with that all being said, I had a very deep night with my shadow self, just exploring it very deeply, but like not intentionally. I kind of have been feeling like, I don't know, kind of like after the reading for I don't know, we did a reading last week, and it was about big waves, and then if you could, trust and survive through these big waves and go through them and allow them, then you get to this place of calm as your reward. And not just that, like new insights, and you'd step into your power feeling like, I can survive anything. I'm trying to remember that message to kind of just keep motivating me to not get sucked into scarcity mindset or too many fears or too many doubts with this shadow energy, shadow work that I'm doing right now. But at the same time, that's what I was getting at, was I feel like I've been at that calm place, and then it's like last night, for what I feel like was almost out of nowhere. It's just, now that we're calm, right, after the storm, if I could use this visual, which it might not be a delicious visual, but after a storm and you get that calm, then what happens though? All the debris, and I'm sorry to say this, but I'm seeing like a visual of dead fish float up to the surface, and you have to see, like, basically like what a mess. But I come to hear this song, and it's a country song, and it's funny because I do know this song. I'm not the biggest country, like I don't have all the knowledge about country songs, but I do know this song that goes, "What a beautiful mess, what a beautiful mess I'm in." That popped in my head just now. So I think Spirit wants me, if you're feeling similar as I have been, or if you're watching this in the near future or whenever and you've just went through it or you're going through it now, I think Spirit is trying to tell us, like, it's still beautiful, even though it's scary and weird sometimes to listen to our shadow self and see what our shadow self has to say. It's still beautiful. As messy as it may look, as messy as it may make our lives look, as messy as we might choose to perceive ourselves during these times of, really diving deep into ourselves, like, it's still beautiful, and I thank Spirit for that. Anyway, so that's what I feel like I'm at. I feel like now all of the debris and the, I want to say ruins, but like just all the debris, all the casualties of that storm in my psyche, in my subconscious, are coming to surface. And I think I actually just really think that's beautiful. And I'm very, very much staring at this right now for some reason. So this is my incense pack for my protection incense, actually gifted to me by Esperanzita, so shout out to her. But I'm staring at it because I just can't stop looking at the water. There's like this shadow. There's water here, right? This is like a beach. I don't know if you can't really see in the quality of this camera, but this is like a shoreline in the beach, and the water's like rushing up. This is the sand. Like, when the water just kind of gently glides onto the sand after a wave hits. But I can't stop staring at it here. And you can't quite see, but it's the same water. And this is a child. It's the same child here. And then, you know, the spiral, I forget what these shells are called, but the spiral kind of to signify, like, being connected, like the universe, everything being one, everything being connected in some way, is this still here too, but it's dark. Ooh, Spirit's gonna make me cry on camera. And I couldn't take my eyes off of it. And to be honest, here in the colorful area, wow, okay, this video is taking a turn, so I guess buckle in for a long one, because I have a plan right here on my notes, but this is very, very intriguing. What is he holding? Oh, it's two people, and I was seeing a child. I wonder why. This is two adults. Looks like lovers. And they're here again. And this kind of just looks like spooky things, if I will say that. It kind of looks like a really ghastly panther, bats. Oh yeah, they're all bats. I thought I saw like a pterodactyl at some point, but these are all like really spooky bats. Very ghastly looking. But it's like they're being protected. It's like they're coming after this couple, but they're being protected by like the light of the water. But up here, in the top, where it's shadowy, right? It's the same image, just up here in the dark. There aren't any predators. Wow, what a message. Wow. Well, wow. I was not expecting that. So, with that being said, our shadow selves are still us. Everything in shadow is exactly the same as it is in the light where we experience it. Wow. But it's just darker, and it's just a little harder to see. And honestly, I'm getting this message like, you know, like you're safe there in your shadow. It's almost like there's no, wow. It's almost like Spirit's telling me, like, there's no predators in the shadow. The shadow may seem scary just because it's dark in general, and things look a little different, less bright, less colorful, but you're safe there, and there's less predators there. You know, and you're protected in the light, but use the shadow as a means to get away from it. Oh my gosh. This is meditation. When you feel attacked Oh my gosh, Spirit. Wow, I was not ready for this, guys. I'm sorry. Wow. I want to get on track with what I planned, but this is... If you're feeling attacked in the light, then come to the shadow. Ooh. You know, to get away, to get a break. Sorry. To be safe. It's like a safe zone. But that's also a message of like falling into the shadow as an escape. In a way that's maybe not necessary. Like, your shadow is there to protect you and give you a safe space, but you've gotta come back into the light and face these eventually. You can't be here forever. But if you need a break, you know, it's kind of like, this is gonna sound really silly, but like, I watch my fiance plays Zelda on the Switch. So I think it's Breath of the Wild. I was gonna say I don't know what what Zelda game it is, but yes I do. And sometimes when he's fighting something, like a monster or whatever, and like he needs a little extra time, or he needs to kind of like, not really take a break, but it's kind of like a break from taking hits, he kind of like freezes the enemy with this little thing, freezes him, and then he can just throw a couple extra punches in there before the time is up, and then the attacker is right back at attacking at him. So it kind of gives him like a breather. And that's meditation, and that's a very, very insightful message. Like, I might have to write this down really quickly. Go to the shadows for a break. Then come back and face wow. So if you like to meditate, or if you're, you know, trying to start meditating, or you haven't meditated in a while, and you are feeling like the world is just attacking you, or your own demons are attacking you, your own fears and things, let's meditate. Let's go back into the shadows. Let's figure this out before we come back out and not really fight. I don't want to say the word fight, but before we come back out and survive this and face this. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. Also, if anybody is trying to psychically attack you, and you're putting up with it day in, day out, and you just need to recharge, you can breathe in the shadows. You can take a break in the shadows. Wowee. Thank you, Spirit. That was intense. So, there's that. There's some advice right at the beginning of the video. I mean, wow. Wow. Well, what a way to start. I don't know how to go from here, but if I could just say a couple things out of the notes I wrote down. Well, like I said, felt weak last night. Just sat there with my shadow. It kind of made me, not gonna lie, made me make some decisions that were kind of out of, I don't know. I don't want to know if they were selfish decisions, they're decisions out of fear, or what, but basically I felt like I was just reaching, looking for a hand to grab. Lots of anxiety, some panic. Woke up today with some embarrassment, some remorse, some regret. Thought to myself, what were the goals though? What were my goals of this new moon? And kind of just did some reviewing and realized one big thing was that I, for instance, found this note last night. A note slipped right out of my journal as I was in the middle of my clouded thoughts. And the note was so desperate. I don't remember exactly when I wrote it. Must have been sometime this year. But literally anything you could imagine feeling overwhelmed about just in your daily life was basically on there. I mean, for what I experienced, I guess I can't say anything you could think of because I'm not a mother, I'm a white person, so there's more things that I could worry about in my day, and I do have privileges I need to be aware of. But the thing is, you know, all the aspects of my life, it's like I wrote one sentence out for each one of them and just was like, I don't know how I'm going to handle all of this. How can I do this? Basically, how can I live? How can I handle all of this? And even at the end, I just wrote, you know, like feeling like I was drowning. And that note just slipped out, right? And even in my weird anxiousness last night that I was feeling, I read that note, sorry. Sorry. I'm breathing in too much smoke, probably. Even in, you know, as I read it, I was reading it from a place of, like, that's not true. You know what I mean? Like, I'm, like, if I could speak to myself, the me that wrote that at whatever time that I wrote that, if I could go in the past and speak to that person, you know, that I was then, even if it was just 4 or 5 months ago, you know, I am now in a place where I would be able to say to them, like, of course you can do this. Like, of course you can. And even though I was feeling so kind of worried last night, I still found that space in myself to see my growth, right? And that was important to me. I burnt up that message. I burnt up that note. And even more anxiety came over me after that. But again, when I was in therapy, something we would call that, some of these moments, my therapist would used to refer to them as growing pains. And I essentially still feel like that's the same kind of thing. Like, it's just being, you know, when a little kid is worried about growing up, because it sounds scary. But you kind of have to. You're going to, you know, regardless, you're going to. You know, as you live on, you're going to grow. But it's scary sometimes. And as adults, I think that we forget that we're still growing. Because we're still here, we're still living. So as we live, we learn. As we learn, we grow. And I'm writing that down. we have to remember that our anxieties and things sometimes show up just because we are growing. And we shouldn't shy them away. We should welcome them. Welcome these fears. Welcome these moments when you have unexpected shadow work to do that you didn't realize. Welcome them. And know that you are growing from this. And that is a beautiful thing. What a beautiful mess. That kind of thing. Sorry, it was itching. So yeah. So, recapping a little bit on some things from the new moon reading, just to check in with you. We're all energetically connected, and those of you watching my videos may very soon be experiencing a lot of shadow work coming your way, or maybe you've already been there, done that for this pre-full moon experience that we're in. So that's neither here nor there. Whoever you are, this message is for you. This reminder is for you. I'm sorry, my nose is going crazy. Some reminders. Our big message for the new moon was to put work in and what? Have fun with it. So let's not forget to keep tapping in to that childlike warmth and joy and love, that childlike, open-heartedness that is not resentful, is not embarrassed, is not like, doesn't regret or feel bad for being themselves, and kind of like how when you're a child and you're in school and like you don't really realize it then so much, but when your teachers make stuff fun while you learn, it's easier for you to learn. And I think that that's a big message for this new moon, is to really find out like what you have fun doing. And when you realize what makes it fun for you, as far as like learning if you're in school or just doing work, you will work more if you're having fun. You will learn more if you're having fun. So we gotta recoup, we gotta recollect ourselves, remind ourselves of that message. So if you're starting to lose your grip on your project or your goals or whatever you set for yourself, and you're not tapping into that fun-loving side, you're not channeling your inner child and what they would like to do in this situation to make it more fun, or just bring more peace, bring more ease to doing it, it's time to tap back in. Tap. Sorry. It's time to tap back into that. So it's alright. I did a personal reading for myself, and it said, create, start again. So if you need to start over right now, there is still a couple days to the full moon. And the full moon isn't the end all be all, but it's kind of just encouraging you to challenge yourself, to grow yourself, so that whatever goals you did set for yourself at the brand new moon, you can challenge yourself to get those things done, so that by the full moon, you feel rejoiceful. You can be proud of yourself either way, but it's like a motivator to get you to finish something by the full moon, so that you can truly just feel like, how do I want to say this? Like, you can always be in your power, right? You don't have to accomplish certain things to be in your power. But based on what you personally want out of your life in general, and from the new moon, based on what you really want from yourself from the new moon to the next new moon, or again from the new moon to the full moon, all of it is about learning. All of it is about self-exploration and learning what you want and getting things done and opportunity and things like that and abundance. But it's just trying to accomplish things by the full moon is really just a means of, I don't know, you know, checking off your personal boxes, whatever they may be, but also just getting to that full moon and being like, I did it. See, it wasn't all for nothing. I did it. But you know, time is not linear, and you know, you don't have to get things done by any certain time. You have to just get them done when you feel to get them done, or when you feel called to get them done, or when it's right for you. But that's part of the mission of new moon goals and new moon intentions, is, you know, just something to challenge yourself, something to guide you, something to kind of live by, something to work towards, whether it's something physically to work towards or just something within yourself to work towards, by the full moon, so that, you know, full moon is about release and things, and if you have things that held you back, you can release those, so you can get back to trying to do what you initially wanted to do, because not everything goes as planned, but also it's just a opportunity, it's just a space for you to be like, you know, to be free, to dance, to live, to love, to drink, to play, to bonfire, sing, dance. Did I say dance already? That kind of thing, just to absorb the full energy of the full moon and be happy to be alive, be proud of yourself. And yeah, maybe I have a lot of Scorpio in my chart personally, so I might be a little extra goal oriented sometimes. So that's why I really love pushing myself very, very hard as far as like to focus on my new moon goals and intentions and stuff. And again, this is just, that's coming from me as a person. But ultimately it's just trying to tap back into what you initially were wanting. Try to remember, you know, because energies change, things happen, and even if you need to start again, it's totally fine. But as long as we're staying conscious, part of being conscious and aware of yourself is checking, you know, we can't change the past, and we don't need to focus everything based off of the past, but part of being aware and conscious is recording, you know, who you've been as much as who you are, you know what I mean, and kind of accepting who you've been, and at times when needed, kind of addressing it or assessing it, processing it, looking back at it, reflection. Ah, yes, because we're in Chiron retrograde, I keep forgetting. So a lot of self-reflection right now, and again, that could have a lot to do with all the debris coming to the surface, because that is big Chiron in retrograde vibes, especially since I'm a Sagittarius sun, so yay. Anyway, sorry, I'm being goofy, I'm being silly, I'm doing it, yay. Okay, alright, so we'll tap back into that energy, okay? Make light of what you're doing, not in a disrespectful way, but, you know, when you're doing your work, be like, what would 6-year-old me, how at 3333 on the clock, what would 6-year-old me do to make this fun? Not that a 6-year-old could do the job that you're doing, but you get what I'm saying, hopefully. So, when I'm on my laptop and I get bored typing all the things I'm typing, I'm gonna think, what would 6-year-old me do to make this a little more interesting? So that I don't lose my focus and I can just get this work done and have what? Fun with it. So that's something to think about. Whew, sorry. Alright, I did not expect this video to be this far in already, but it's all good. Alright, so another thing we're going to recap on, we're going to retouch, we're going to re-soak in this intention. Oh, it's July 29th, I didn't say that, I'll put it in the title of the video. Anyway, so we have 5 more days till the full moon. Alright, so release. We're gonna still be releasing things. Again, this is like me kind of bringing a warning. I don't really love the word warning because it sounds very scary, but I just kind of showing you that you very well may be coming upon some much needed, very necessary shadow work, here soon. So the things are going to pop up that you need to release. And some of them are going to be really hard pills to swallow. I know I went through that myself last night. Very hard things to really ingest. But just know they're being brought up for a reason. They're all floating to the surface for a reason, because we need to clean them up and release them. Clean them up, do something else with them is what I'm seeing. Like, you have all this debris and things. It doesn't just disappear. We got to gather it. We got to work hard, clean it up, gather it, and then we got to repurpose it in some way. And in that releases, releases what it was, right? Because energy can't be created or destroyed. We've all learned that, or most of us have learned that through school. And so if you have these negative feelings and negative things and things in your shadow work, fears and doubts and whatnot, anxieties, maybe, just maybe, if you're having trouble releasing them, maybe we can repurpose them, right? And that can guide us to its release, and that can aid in its release. I'm hearing aid in its release. So if you're a creative person, or just, I don't know, how do I say this? Like, if you're a creative person, you may want to gather up these thoughts and fears and shadowy feelings and energies and put them into your art in order to aid in releasing them, all that. But also, if you're not a creative person that doesn't really like make art or make a thing, like, you might want to channel all this shadow energy into something that you're doing. So maybe, I don't know, maybe you did have something planned. Like, I'm getting like a plan of like meeting up with a friend. Maybe you had a plan to meet up with a friend and it was just going to be like a chill kickback kind of thing. But maybe instead you're going to bring to the table, hey, can I talk to you about some things? And, that could aid you in releasing some of these fears and stuff by bringing them up in what you're doing. So, or like, some of you might ask for like a day off or something. Like, maybe you planned on saying yes to like an extra shift or something at work or something like that, but now you're starting to see like you need to release some of these things that are popping up, and so you're not going to be able to do it. 37 on the clock. So that might happen. So just be aware. I'm not doing a warning, but just be aware, I guess, is that these things may be coming up. And if you ask me, if you want me to be like that right now, they are going to come up. Okay, if they haven't already, they are. I'm gonna just say it, they are. Okay, so release. We're gonna remember to focus on our releasing techniques. Sorry, this smoke is bothering me today. Protection incense. Whew, I just feel like I cannot friggin' breathe today. Tyler, you alright, bud? He's watching me. He doesn't understand why I talk to myself, but it's fine. Sunshine. This is interesting because, so in the new moon reading, we talked about getting sweaty, right? And I said that I didn't really love the idea of that because I'm still dealing with my injury. I can't really do a lot of exercise. Depends on my day. Sometimes I feel great and I can move my body a lot, and then sometimes I'm like, oh boy, gotta take a break today. But personally, I have become stagnant with getting outdoors and like just even going on a simple walk. So this is me holding myself accountable and bringing the accountability back to the table with you. So if this is resonating with you and you're like, damn, I haven't gone outside in a minute either, let's go outside. Let's break through that. Okay, let's regenerate that intention that we had in the beginning of the new moon. I had mentioned specifically, like, even if you are like me and can't always do like physical activity without being in pain, because I have a back injury, even just going outside and letting the sun hit you, and then that creating sweatiness, or that creating just like some heat, some warmth, some blood flow into your body, then let's do that. And it's funny because yesterday I had the house to myself for a little while, and I was just like, I don't even know what I want to do. I haven't played guitar in a minute, so I took the guitar out, and I'm working on a song called Sunshine. I've been working on it for weeks, like just writing it. But yesterday I finally felt like, you know what, I'm gonna like practice it, and that's very curious. I see what you did there, Spirit. You were telling me, you were helping me foresee like what was coming. And my cat, for whatever reason, this cat is never in this room, and he's in this room right now, and absolutely would love to walk in front of the camera. So I'm sorry about that. And trust, yeah, you know it. We're back at this. Trust. It is a big year for trust, isn't it? When you just feel like your hands are tied behind your back. And what can you do? Feels like there's nothing you can physically do with this wheel anymore. You have just got to trust. You have just got to trust. I don't like this imagery because I get a little bit triggered thinking about car accidents. But when the brakes are just not, the brakes go out, then what? You have just got to have faith. Baby child, you have just got to trust. So here we are again. Makes my heart heavy. I know it's partially my own energy, but I know a lot of you too. Just not trusting. Want to trust though. I don't feel like everyone's resisting it, like consciously, like ew, no. Want to trust, scared to trust. Remember the scared dog? In the reading, I forget what reading that was, but it wasn't too long ago. It's like a scared dog wants to trust, but ooh, it's all right. It's all practice. It's all practice. We just retrust every day, even if you gotta just rebirth that trust every day. You're still trying. It's still practice. You're practicing. And the funny thing is so sirens and my dog at the same time. So I saw elephants last reading as like a symbolic message, and I've still continued to see a couple elephants here and there, like in different things. And so again, good luck is coming. Positivity. You know, good luck is around you, positivity is around you. You just have to trust that. So we're sitting in our shadow. We're feeling a little bit, woe is me. We're feeling a little bit, OMG, where the mother effing crap do I go from here? But positivity and trust is all around us, and good luck. Positivity and good luck is all around us. We just have to trust that. We just have to. Because here's the big kicker. What else are you going to do? I let my cat out, but think about that. What else can we do? You know, I'm not trying to come off as having an attitude or anything. My Sagittarius is about to shine right through right now. But think about it. We are all experiencing something that we've never experienced before. Not only because this is a brand new moment that we've never had and we'll never have again, but just because this year in general, with the pandemic, all these social issues and things going on, it is big time. What the living do we do right now? I'll tell you what. And even if I have to relearn it myself every day, I will keep relearning it and reteaching it to you every single day if that's what it takes. We've got to trust. We've got to trust. And if you're like, but what? Again, no shade, no hate on that. I get what that's like. But if that's what we're going to feel like, if that's where we're at, think about this. What the fuck else are we going to do? We've just got to trust. We've just got to, okay? We've just got to. We've just got to. Trust in self, trust in the universe, trust in your guides, trust in someone, something, somewhere. Gotta trust. Got to trust this situation as well. Gotta trust in it. Gotta trust that it's necessary. Even when you're feeling it, even when it feels like it's never going to end, you've got to trust that it's necessary. Got to trust it won't last forever, because nothing does in that sense. We're always learning, we're always moving, we're always changing. Okay? I love you guys. I want you all to stay here with me. I want you all to contribute to the collective, to this world, to this universe, with your unique talents, your whatever you have that's you and only you. I want you to contribute that to the world. And when your shadow is blocking you, or when your shadow is kind of just veiled, over you, and you feel like you have no light to shine, I want you to know that you do, and you've just got to trust that what you're going through with this darkness and these things that you're feeling is necessary. And it doesn't change who you are, and it doesn't make you any less than, or whatever distortions you might feel like it puts onto yourself. You need to know this is just part of you, and that we've all got our shadow selves. And you've just got to go through it, and you will go through it, and you will survive it, and you've got to trust that. Because as a collective, we all want you here. I don't know what message. Wow, I'm not sure who this is for, but we all want you here. If you need to hear this, this is yours. Okay? It's no mistake. Please take this message. We all, even if we don't know you eye to eye, whatever, we all want you here. We all want you here to do what it is that makes you you. Put into the world, put into the collective, put into your community, put into the universe, put into the space, all that makes you you. We want you here with us. We're all in this together. And so if it's your shadow that's beating you, if it's your shadow that just feels like is so dark you cannot find your way out, I need you to know, Spirit needs you to know, it is necessary. Just keep waiting there. And let's not forget, we don't have predators in our shadow. Everything's just a little darker, so it just overall feels a little more scary. Because you don't really know what's lingering or whatever. But your shadow is a safe place for you to reflect. Your shadow is a safe place for you to be vulnerable and be still and be however you are. If you're afraid, be afraid. If you're sad, be sad. Your shadow is the true place for that. So again, another hint at meditation. If meditating would help you navigate your shadow, please do. But otherwise, just stick it out. I promise you, you're getting stronger. You may not feel like it, you may not know it, but you are, okay? And I love you, and we want you here, and I love you. That's the message. So, another thing that was interesting was when I wrote the word trust down here as a note, I wrote trust, and then I wrote another T next to it. And I thought, oh my gosh, the cross. Remember I brought up a cross in the New Moon reading? And, crosses are love or hate, right? Some people see them as like a symbol of devotion and love. Some people see them as a symbol of hate or to instill fear in others. But what does it all come down to? Perspective, which leads me to my next note. We've got to have a check on our perspective. And let me tell you this, the reason I'm sitting here right now doing this video is because I made the effort to check in with my perspective. Because like I said, I had a big, shadowy, just submissed in my shadow last night. Woke up today with that negative perspective of like, you know, embarrassment, regret, like all this stuff, right? And then a little voice spoke to me. And here's the thing, it's all practice. And this little voice inside that kind of tells you like, hey, it's not so bad. The more you listen to this voice, of course now, you know, it's your inner self, but, you know, I'm devoted to spirit, right? I trust my spirit. And basically, I kind of take it as like, oh, you know, spirit is saying, hey, turn that frown upside down. You know what, spirit? I'm doing that, just that, you know, because I'm not going to question my messages anymore. That's just me. But the thing is like some of us, you know, we have that little voice inside. You may feel like you have that little voice inside that's like, but it's going to be okay. And then you just have so many other voices that are just negative ways of thinking and old habits and blah, 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 shutting that little voice down, right? The more you listen to that little voice and the more you trust in them or in whatever higher power you trust in or what have you, the easier it becomes to catch yourself when you're just slipping into that negative perspective. Because like I said, there's necessary shadow work, right? There's necessary shadow work. But then you've got to come back out and face these demons, face these fears eventually. You can't stay in shadow forever. Okay? The whole point is to kind of recharge your batteries. Or see what your opponent's weak spots are, or see what your weak spots are, or see, you know, some insight into how to accomplish whatever it is you're doing while facing these fears and doubts and whatnot. Or you're seeing some type of advice or insight or reminder from your subconscious to keep you more protected while facing these things out in the light here where we exist. But you can't stay in there forever. Part of the human experience is this right here. This beautiful simulation. We won't get into that, but, you know, just being out here and dealing with it. Being out here and dealing with it. And realizing, like we did before with the big wave reading, realizing you can survive anything. You can. You absolutely can. Just perspective. It gets easier with practice, but yeah, that's the whole reason I'm here doing this video. I realized, so wait, am I having more necessary shadow things to go through right now, or am I just letting myself sulk into my old negative bad habit ways? What am I doing here? And Spirit was kind of just like, hey, you know, might feel better if we just do this, huh? And here I am, getting up, sharing my story, here to speak to you all, and changing my perspective. And I'm excited, and I'm grateful, and I thank Spirit for that. And I'm not going to lose sight of my new moon intentions and new moon goals, just because I had one hard night existing in my shadow self, like existing with my shadow self. I'm not gonna lose sight of everything, but I know it was necessary, and I'm not going to discard the things I learned last night about myself. That's what's important about shadow work, is like sometimes you go through it and you're like, all right, I went through that, okay, we're back in the light now. But at the same time, you can't discard what you learned. These messages are for a reason. These fears and pains and doubts and memories and things that come up are for a reason. You've got to, you can't discard those ideas. And it's not like you can do anything to flip a switch and change them. But you've got to keep aware of them. And it's almost like, you know, you'll go back to visit them every now and then. And you'll be like, hey, how you doing? And sometimes they're a little overwhelmed. But, you know, it's like the more that you let go of expectations as far as like how you will handle, how you will kind of fix these fears and fix these things that come out of your shadow self, like the more you can release that need for controlling them and that need for like changing them, then the more comfortable you get with visiting them. And that's very interesting on a personal level for me, because like, for instance, in like a family setting, I have some family members where like it used to just not put me in a great space energetically to visit them. And it was all really, I had to realize it was all revolved around controls, because I wanted to feel like, you know, I wanted to be able to control their choices and what they were doing, and like kind of in a helpful way. Like I just wish that I could help them in a certain way, but really it was control. Like as badly as I didn't want to accept that, it was control is what I was trying to find. It wasn't really help. I mean, in my head it would help, but I'm not them, so I can't decide what will help them. You see what I'm saying? So it was a control thing. And then the more I realized that, and the more I was like 5555 on the clock when I said that, but the more I realized like, you know, it's not up to me. I can't necessarily like control what their choices are, and like I don't, and like remove my expectations of like what they would have going on in their lives or whatever, or how the visit is going to go or whatever. Once I released all that, it made it so much easier to go and visit them. And I realized I don't not like visiting them. I just didn't like what I was holding on to during those visits, what I was holding on to inside of me leading up to those visits and going to those visits and while I'm in the visit. Once I released like the fact that it's almost like, you know, with your shadow, it's almost like it's its own self, and we can help heal it and we can listen to it, right? But that's all really we can do, to be honest. It's like that friend or that family member that like you just really want to help and you can't, because it's like, you know, you're kind of just trying to control them because maybe they're content, but maybe you wish they lived a different way or whatever. You got to accept that, and then visiting them and listening to them and caring for them and being a part of their life and vice versa becomes so much more pleasant, and I don't want to say tolerable because that sounds a little mean, but just becomes more peaceful on your end. And there's nothing wrong with that. You shouldn't feel guilty for doing that. These are things we learn. But again, learning that for the self as well. Like, you visit your shadow self, and it's kind of like sadness from mine. I picture like is like sadness from the Inside Out Disney movie. And you kind of just like with Joy in Sadness in that movie. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but Joy is always trying to like get Sadness to like cheer up, and Sadness doesn't, right? And Joy kind of gets frustrated, or at least like is just like, what the heck? But realizes later in the movie that sadness, spoiler alert, that sadness is just as essential as joy. And it's the same thing with your shadow. So your shadow, though you cannot change your shadow is amazing, important, and a beautiful little mess. And that just makes me feel warm. I just want to give myself a hug real fast. I love that. Wow. Okay. So changing your perspective. Try to tap in. If you've never practiced, you know, perspective flipping, give it a try these next couple of days leading up to the full moon. Like, next time you feel like you're getting grumpy or just like I'm bleh about something, see if you can tap in to that space within and be like, is this necessary, like, grief I'm giving myself, or like, do I need to just change my perspective on what's happening right now? Because often that's all it takes. And then you kind of go, sometimes I get a little salty. I'll be like, okay, fine, you're right. Like, that's kind of how I was when I just got out of bed. Like, okay, Spirit, fine, you're right, okay? I'm just slipping into my negative habits, all right? But, you know, that's all part of it, and it's still beautiful, and you're lovely, and you're awesome, and I just love you, and I thank you so much for being here. I know it's another hour-long video, but what a message. I'm loving this. Okay, so just a few more things in my notes. So I've got, I had a dream. I dream almost every night, but, you know, I don't always feel like the dream is for sharing to here, but I did feel, where's my water? What? Oh, sorry. Okay. But I do feel that this fits. So, when I first got up, right? This was after I decided, okay, you know what? I'm going to change my perspective. I'm going to get up. And we're going to just have this day. Because we survived that shadow moment. And I don't feel that any of this grief that I'm putting myself through right now is necessary. Just need to change my perspective. And Spirit told me so. So I ain't gonna call Spirit a liar, ever. Okay? Anyway, so I got up. I'm making something to eat. And in my head, I'm hearing my own lyrics from one of my own songs called Cold Lover. And the lyric goes, and I'm hoping you'll picture me strong, silent, and content. Okay? I just kept hearing that over and over. That's not the whole line. The line is, but your love is my wealth. Now I ain't got a cent. Whatever. Anyway, but I kept hearing that. And I'm hoping you'll picture me silent, strong, and strong. What are my lyrics? Silent, strong, and content. Oh, I said it wrong. Strong, silent, and content. Whatever. I'm like, something's wrong there. But anyway, and I realized, like, that's what I was putting myself through just there. Before I got up, I was just stuck in that embarrassment, which is not authentic. That ain't authentic, girl. That ain't authentic with me. I was feeling embarrassed because I revealed some inner fears and things to someone last night who may be watching this video. But you know, it wasn't anything on them. It wasn't really anything. I'm going to take responsibility for what I chose to do as far as like kind of unpacking unannounced on someone, but for me at the time it just felt like the right thing to do. It was all I knew what to do in the moment, and I woke up feeling embarrassed. They told me not to feel embarrassed, but I woke up feeling embarrassed because I realized I like to appear a certain way. So that lyric was in my mind. So if that resonates with you, like, it's time to get a little more vulnerable. Doesn't mean you have to, like, tell the whole world everything about you all the time if that's not you. Also, I don't think that anyone should do that. You should always have some sacred things for yourself. But, yeah, just, I personally, and I feel called to share this with you because I feel like it may be something that's going on in your life, whoever it's for. So take it if it's for you. But I need to release the need for people to see me a certain way. Like, I feel sometimes it's important for some people to see me a certain way, when really, like I just said before, like, that's out of our control, essentially. Like, you can do everything. Like, even if you made it a goal, right? You picked one person and you're like, my goal is to make this person believe that I'm this, this, and this, and this is how I'm going to do it, and my goal is to get them to see me in this way, you know, even if it's something specific, like make them believe I'm an astronaut, and I'm going to do all of this to get them to believe that I'm an astronaut. You could make it a flawless plan. You could execute it with just, like, excellence, and they could still be like, I don't care, you're not an astronaut. You see what I'm saying? You could actually literally be an astronaut. You could actually get that career going for yourself and be like, I'm an astronaut, see? And they could still be like, no, you're not. It's not up to us how people see us. It's not in our control how people see us. So this is something that I have to release. It's big, 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 big. I heard a reader on YouTube call it medicine, and I loved that. And I don't want to steal it, but I just love that. It's like just big, you know, pill to swallow kind of thing. But just, yeah, we've got to release needing others to see us in a certain way. Sometimes, like, I I don't know what you're eating. Hey, Kyler. Hey, what are you eating? What is that? What is that? Kyler, what is that? Ew, what is it? Oh God, I have to figure out what this is. Kyler! What is that? Oh, great. It's some kind of hairball poop. Okay, that's kind of really nasty, bud. Again, can't control that your dog eats poop, and you just have to accept it. Anyway, so yeah, we just, oftentimes it gets in the way of our success and the things we want to do and the goals we want to achieve because we're thinking too much about, well, I need to do this so they see me as this, and then I need to do this so this person sees me as this, and it's just, no, we're not doing that anymore, okay? Sorry, getting sadgy with you again, but blah, blah, we ain't doing that no more, okay? So, yeah, that's a big one. Changing our perspective, releasing the need to control how other people see us. People are going to see us how they're going to see us. Think of your favorite person that you, like, you know, it could be like a person in your life, or it could be like an artist or like a singer or something, or whatever that you look up to. People, you may see nothing wrong with this person. You see them in the highest light. You maybe in some ways aspire to be them, but there's going to be somebody who's like about them. Does that change how you feel about them? No. So if someone goes about you, should that change how you feel about yourself? No, never. All right, so did I get the message across? Point blank, a period, done. Moving forward, because that's it. We're not letting the idea of what other people think about us weigh on our mind anymore. It doesn't matter to us. Not in the sense of like, I'm going to be like the biggest, you know, non-self-aware person and just be rude to everybody and I don't care what they think. That's not what it is. Just do you, what makes you happy, live authentically, and all this and that, and let go of the control to have other people see you in a certain way. You could be following your dreams and doing everything and you feel on top of the world, and then someone could walk into your life and be like, we need to get it together. You know what I mean? And trust me, I've actually had that a bajillion times happen to me in my life. But what we're going to not do anymore is we're not going to let that change how we feel about ourselves. And we're not going to let that get in the way. We're not going to let that stop us, what it is that we're trying to achieve. Because it's not about how they see us. It's about what we're experiencing and what we want to do. And I know it sounds selfish, but the more you give to yourself and give yourself the reality that you want, then you can furthermore help others and help inspire others and give others the reality that they want. But, you know, you're going to be trapped in this limbo of can I not, if you keep listening to so many other people other than your own inner voice and your own guides and your own authentic self. So that's all that matters right now. That's it. Just do you. Don't worry about what everybody's seeing you as. Just do you. And any obstacles and any drama or whatever that comes about because of it, you will survive it. You understand? Sorry, my dog is choking, probably because he ate a bunch of poop. Anyway, you will survive it. So don't even think that far ahead. Just be here and work on you and what you want. More specifically, your new moon goals, your new moon intentions right now. Focus on that. Focus. Focus. I'm learning how to focus myself. Sometimes I think I have adult ADHD, but it's all good. All right. So in my dream, cherry blossoms. I saw cherry blossoms. Never seen cherry blossoms in a dream ever. Saw cherry blossoms, and I learned that it symbolizes like being able to be strong, like a tree, and soft at the same time. And so again, tracing back to that lyric in my head, hoping you'll picture me strong, silent, and content, right? Being like, I don't want to come across as, you know, a softie. I want you to see me as like, bad bitch, you know? But the cherry blossom was there to remind, and there was many of them. So I feel like that's why I'm sharing this here today, is because it wasn't just one, to where it's just like, for me, there was many. It was like an orchard. And so I feel like that's the collective out there. I just want to remind you all, you can be strong and soft at the same time. I think that's lovely. You can be strong and soft at the same time. You show your softiness, that doesn't make you weak. You know what I mean? And you show your strength, it doesn't mean you can't ever show your softiness. You can be strong and soft at the same time. And what is that? Feminine energy. The divine feminine, the Empress. My idol. The Empress. And I thank you, Spirit. I feel like my spirit guides speak to me through the Empress card, and just hearts and love and everything feminine. And there's something about just being strong and feminine, strong and soft. So keep that in mind. Cherry blossom energy, love that. Also, just lots of pink in my dream. I don't know if my spirit guides was just like showing up to be like, baby, we okay? Because last night I was like, Spirit, I don't know what I'm going to do. Not to mock myself, but that's basically what it was like. And, you know, like I said, my spirit comes to me in hearts and pink colors and femininity and things like that. And there was lots of pink in my dream, so maybe Spirit was just being like, it's okay. I saw flamingos, which I love flamingos, and I'm from Florida, and they're very pink and beautiful, and I've never really seen them in real life. I think one time, like in a zoo when I was little, probably. Oh great, he ate all that poop, and then what? He threw it up on the bed. You know, you just can't control anything at all, ever. Great. Let me see here. Ay. Kyler, was that a good idea, you think? It's all good. Ay. Told ya. You know? Alright. So, it's all good. Flamingos symbolize communion. And I didn't see like a flock of flamingos. I was painting flamingos. So, I'm trying to remember what it said about painting when I researched that, but I guess it's more about creating communion. Maybe we need to create more things that bring us all together. Me as an artist, and just as that being a personal dream for me, I see it as like a message to me, just saying like, create more things to get more messages out to people who need them. And so I'll take that as that. But, you know, if you're the type of person who has been wanting to round people up or create something to bring a widespread message to people on the internet or in your community or whatever, then there's your sign. But yeah, I just wanted to go through those because I thought that was very cool. I love the strong and soft. I thought that was amazing. And that's that. That is that. Now I just wanted to take a moment and I wanted to light this. It's a little incense cone. It's supposed to be for full moons, but I just wanted to light it right now and just take a moment, if we could close our eyes and just manifest what it is you really like, what it is you want by the full moon, but just to manifest like how good it would feel, like just sit in that feeling of how amazing it would feel if by the full moon all of the goals you set for yourself at the new moon were accomplished. Just to sit in that moment, just to feel like you've already done all the work. It's all done. You've done it. It's the full moon. All that's asked of you is to just celebrate your hard work, your hard efforts, and to, you know, get ready for the reflection period of the moon phase, where we fall back in waiting of the new moon. So we're just going to close our eyes. We're just going to focus on that feeling, how amazing it would feel if the intentions and the goals that you set for yourself this new moon, if you had them all done. They're all done, they're all accomplished, and now it's the full moon and you can celebrate and you feel like a brand new person. Just imagine how good that would feel just for a few minutes. Just see what imagery might come to mind. Okay, now slowly open your eyes back up. I hope whatever you saw, whatever you felt just then, I hope you know that you are deserving of that feeling, that release, that peaceful, like I did it kind of feeling. You're worthy of that right now because you've done so much. And I'm not saying to, lose focus of what you're trying to get done so that you can live that reality of, wow, I did it, for whatever goals you have set for yourself. But I just want you to know that whatever visual you had, if you visualized yourself finally having, a peaceful day, a relaxing day where you feel accomplished, or if you pictured yourself, rewarding yourself with like a fun outing or some kind of, I don't know, champagne even I saw. But, you're worthy of that stuff now too. I just want you to know that. So stay tapped in with that inner child, that authentic self, and perhaps, just saying, what you may need to get through these next 5 days of getting your goals done, what you very well may need to get that extra push. Not only are these shadow moments to see and release, repurpose and release, but you may need to, like, have a day or a moment where you treat yourself as if it's all done, because you have done so much work. So, for instance, like, I saw just like a little at-home celebration, just listening to music and hanging out, maybe playing some video games here and there. If you saw something like that, maybe you need that for like a day, just to celebrate yourself. So you can just, get back to work knowing your worth, knowing why what you're doing is worth it. But again, we're all different personalities, we're all energetically connected, but we're still all very different. So if this just gave you the drive to work even harder to get to that point, to get to that fuck yeah day, then use it. But again, I want you to know, no matter who you are, no matter what your personality traits are or whatever, no matter who you are, you're worthy of that today, because you are magnificent. You've done so much. You've survived everything thus far on this planet, in this human experience, as you, the only you that has and ever will existed. And I love you. And remember to love freely. And I wrote a meditation on here, but the beginning, the unexpected beginning that we had, I feel like that was way more direct of a message for you all than a meditation on camera right now. So Might have to head into my shadow parts later. That sounds weird. But much love to all. I also saw a G. See this G? It's upside down. No, I don't know. Yeah, I saw a G. So, love and appreciate you.